Welcome to the third video of the series One Piece 2 reviews. This week we had an anime episode that adapted most of the material of chapter 1022. However, there was a chapter break, so we don't have a manga chapter that dropped this week. So this video will mostly be a review of the anime episode 1045. And I will also relate any potential links or connections to the latest manga chapter 1069. Let's go. So this episode was a step down from last week's episode, but that's actually an unfair comparison because last week's episode had the amazing culmination of Robin's badass fight versus Black Maria in Demonio form, and I did review that episode together with the last week's chapter. So do check that video out, which has been getting a ton of views and is the second highest video on my channel. Thanks so much. And if you're enjoying the content, please do subscribe as it helps me out tremendously and has pushed me to create more and more content despite having a lot on my plate in real life. Trust me, I've got a lot going on in my personal life. If I'm ready, I'll share it. Anyway, back to the video. The episode opens up with Luffy, Momo, Shinobu, Caribou, and the Herd Pirates. Luffy has told Momo to transform into a dragon so that he can take Luffy up to the floating Onigashima. To be honest, I don't really like this storyline at all. First of all, does Shinobu's devil fruit even work this way? Wasn't she supposed to quote-unquote decay stuff? In what world do you decay an 8-year-old to turn ahead the clock 20 years into the future? I wish Shinobu's devil fruit was restricted to decaying non-living beings as well. Otherwise, just imagine the hack's devil fruit power being used to decay her enemies. Doesn't it remind you of Tomura Shigaraki of My Hero Academia and how broken he is? And now Shinobu can even turn that destructive power into such a plot-relevant way as well? Secondly, Luffy can technically fly with his gear forge, so he doesn't actually need Momo to carry him up there. Moreover, he would never urge Momo to be aged up just so that he could reach Kaido faster. For example, he would never do that for other people like Tama or the Straw Hats. It was only possible because Luffy didn't know beforehand that Momo was going to be transformed permanently. It was only convenient for the plot for Momo to transform into a 28-year-old since his dream is to become the Shogun of Wano. So plot relevance, right? I really dislike this kind of storylines where something unnatural benefits the good guys, with good guys always having some good luck to save them. I rather like when the good guys are unlucky and bad stuff keeps happening to them. Spoiler warning, but many such plot conveniences do happen in this arc more and has already happened actually, such as Big Mom helping Nami and Usopp versus Page 1 and Ulti. As King of Lightning says, Big Mom was a net positive for the Straw Hats. By the way, the episode also shows adult Momonosuke a little, like his hair and his ripped upper body, so I will admit these were nice additions in my opinion. Next, we move on to Fukurokuju versus Raizo. I was actually really hyped up for this fight, for especially Fukurokuju, as I think he had a lot of potential. I know what happens in the manga though, so there's that. In particular, I loved Fukurokuju's dialogue in this scene when Raizo criticizes Fukurokuju for his allegiance to Orochi. Fukurokuju proudly says that his allegiance lies with the current shogun, no matter who the current shogun may be. Raizo also has some good lines about him and the scabbards being quote-unquote ghosts who were carrying out Odin's will. Props to the animation team for this scene as it really enhanced the manga scene in my opinion at least. Moving on, we had the dual battles between Kid and Law versus Big Mom and Killer versus Hawkins. I don't have much to say about this, the animation was okay and the scenes were extended in the anime as usual. I liked Killer and Hawkins' extended battle scenes in particular, but I did not like the addition in the anime regarding Law and Big Mom. So what happened was that it was shown that Big Mom went for a strike, a full-fledged strike, and Law blocked it with his sword. So though it is clear that Big Mom has the upper hand, that she has the strength advantage, I don't want to see Big Mom even being stalled by Law when it is head-on like this. I wish Law used more stealth techniques as it was shown in the manga rather than blocking Big Mom's attack directly. It's more acceptable if Kid does it with his physical strength and all, but not Law. And I am saying this despite disliking Kid and liking Law a lot. Next we go to Sanji versus both King and Queen. Yes, it was a 2-on-1 fight. I actually like this extended anime scene a lot, much better than Killer versus Hawkins and Law and Kid versus Big Mom. And there was teamwork involved between Queen and King as well. And King even hit Queen as collateral damage when hitting Sanji. I really liked this scene as this also happened in the manga as well, but some chapters before. And the anime also adapted it some episodes before as well, but I really liked this decision of the anime team to remind the viewers of it again. I think, in my opinion, that it was a good idea to remind the viewers about King and Queen's dynamic, about them being similar to Zoro and Sanji. This episode didn't show the climax of the corresponding chapter, which was titled The Stars Taking the Stage, as in Zoro returning to action with Sanji and hitting King and Queen with that awesome double page spread. So this wasn't adapted in this episode, and I saw a long time on a Facebook post that Megumi Ishitani will direct the episode that contains that badass scene. Unfortunately, it's not the next episode even, because the next episode is a recap. So it will be One Piece 1047, anime episode 1047, not 1046, which adapts that awesome scene. That's it for the anime review this week. Now, since we didn't get a manga chapter this week, what we can do in the comparison section is that we can compare the last episode with the last chapter. So we can compare episode 1045 with chapter 1069. Okay, so we don't actually get any direct connection between these two, but one connection I can make between the latest anime episode and the recent few chapters at least is the phenomenon of Hawkins' doll. What he can do is that he can transfer the pain or damage taken from his own body to other bodies, for example Kid, through the use of his straw dolls. In the Egghead Island arc, the connection we can make is that we know Vegapunk has made 6 clones of his body, and the experiences and memories of each of his bodies are transferred to the other bodies every day. And it's all stored in one place in the Punk records. So we do get a connection there, even though it's not that direct. That's all for this week's video of One Piece 2 Connections. Next week we have a recap episode in the anime, and I will most probably not be reviewing a recap episode. So what I will probably do is that I will review this week's anime episode as well and connect it with the chapter that drops next week, which is 1070. So 1045 with 1070. So what I do in this channel, you guys know, is that I post One Piece videos and discussion videos, theory videos on this channel. I also live stream to read the latest chapter when it drops. I also have a personal vlog YouTube channel if you're interested, where I discuss pro wrestling, basically WWE, and educational or academic content. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, or that one, or even both, of course. And yeah, tata.